I like this right here. This is my kind of party. This is what I'm getting at. We like it when people we like or are fans of are coming on. It's not like this specific thing that we're getting into. Like, now we'll go to the line with the Chiefs beat writer to talk about the linebackers. No. Like, just somebody who's cool, who can talk about it all, who we watch. And that, of course, on the Boxer and Gerson guest line at this particular moment is the great Michelle Beadle. Beadle and Decker, weekdays noon to 3 Eastern on SiriusXM's Mad Dog Sports Radio channel. That said, Michelle, our producers have brought up that in 2018, a little bit less than 6 years ago, you retired from watching football.
I did.
So now what?
No, I you know what? About what are we? How are we in 24? Aren't we? I almost forgot where we are. I thought we were 22 for a hot second. Probably 2021. I sort of crept back in, and I think mainly it was because friends kept asking me to do fantasy football, and I finally was just like, God damn, I guess I'm doing fantasy football again. And then once you're in, you're in. There's no way back out. And I realize in my older age now, I have to be able to take the gray areas of things that I think aren't right and kind of live in that versus my very extreme black and white that I was doing life through. So, here we are. Nothing's perfect. There are crappy people and everything. And, if I start, having my own little self-boycotts of everything that has a bad person in it, I'm going to sit in a corner and do nothing.
There's none of those places left that are nothing but good people. Exactly. So, all right. So then welcome back to football.
Thank you.
Yeah. And with that, we're sitting here in the Bay Area, right. But we're also still trying to figure out maybe the question of the week. How is the best player in football an underdog? Your thoughts?
I keep having to ask people that, this week, and every time I say it out loud, I feel like I'm saying something incorrect, and yet here we are. He's just an enigma of a person. He's like what Steph Curry once was, and hopefully they all get back and they figure it out with Warriors. But you just can't bet against him. You shouldn't want to, and yet here we are. Look, it's the first time in recent memory that we can look at a Chiefs team and actually say to ourselves, they didn't look great. They lost a lot of games, and that's not something we got used to saying. So that's the thing. The Niners on paper, people keep telling everyone they're better. But yeah, that Patrick Mahomes situation is something to be dealt with. And unfortunately, too, it looks like Travis Kelce woke up at the worst possible time for any opponent that's out there.
Yeah, Michelle, I've been telling everybody I know you got to take Patrick Mahomes in 2 points. In the way they're playing the best football of the year. But on the other side is a guy that's just getting crushed nationally all the time in Brock Purdy. And I don't get it, Michelle, because usually we love the underdog story. We love a guy that was the last pick in the draft. He's a little bit undersized. He was a third-string guy, and here he comes. He's in the MVP discussion at one time this year. I think a lot of people forget almost a year ago he was laying on a table with his elbow wide open, and they were operating on it. And here he is in the Super Bowl. And I don't know if you guys are probably talking about it on your show, but I don't know if it's just trying to get clicks or people are going for the hot takes, but I just can't understand why everyone's trying to put a label on this guy and why there's so much criticism.
My favorite, I think the clicks thing is pretty valid. There, this business. There are a few very loud talking heads, but that's kind of what they market in. They're good at it. They figured it out. It's a weird system. I don't know sometimes if they truly believe the things they're saying. I don't know how you could truly believe that this kid's not good. You could say whatever you want. You can call him a game manager. You can call him a system player. You can say all of those things. You still have to go out there and execute. And he's done that on a high level. And no matter what you think has contributed to that, the numbers he's put up are better than almost everyone. And some places better than everyone. So I'm confused by it because, like you said, this is the kind of story that Hollywood dreams of. And yet we've already gotten to the tearing him down part before we even built him all the way up. And that's not usually the formula we use. So for me, it's the storyline that I'm looking forward to the most. I don't have a horse in the race. I would love for him to come out and just really shut some people up. Also because he's done it while keeping sort of that smiley, frozen face that also kind of scares me a little bit. I'm like, what is this? Is he crazy? I don't know. So to me, it's such a good story. And look, the Niners, they want revenge. And I think a lot of us as sports fans, dynasties get boring. And I don't know if the Chiefs are necessarily a dynasty yet, but stopping them here would definitely be a step in the right direction if you don't want to have another dynasty on our hands.
Oh, man. Michelle Beadle is with us here on Willard and Dibs. FP is in for Dibs. That's a funny comment. Like, if you're, for everyone listening, if you're old enough to remember the restaurant chain Bob's Big Boy.
Oh.
Yes.
Like, Brock looks like Bob who maybe works out. Like, he's not fat like that. But that sort of eerie smile that looks like it never goes away. I hadn't thought of that until you just said it.
Oh, it is. That's partly why too. Like him winning, I'd like to see what the emotion looks like because I'm here for it. The kid's got thick skin. Most of us don't have skin that thick. It's impressive.
Michelle, what do you think about this? We were batting this around a little bit a few minutes ago, and I don't know if this has an effect on the game or not. The 49ers feel like the new blood. There's Brock Purdy. There's the big fan base. Can Kyle Shanahan get over the hump? There's personalities like George Kittle. And there's Las Vegas as the backdrop. So it feels like there's a tension everywhere. Kyle might have had some drinks the other night. We got sod on the practice. Like, we got all these stories. The Chiefs, meanwhile, if you went out there and went, what was the biggest thing you heard from the Chiefs this week? I mean, they are library quiet. What's your read on that tone behind the two teams?
You know, it feels very much like this is business as usual. You know, it's like the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors, they were relaxed in all those years they were in the finals, but it just got to the point where the regular season is just part of the deal, but they expect to be here at the end, and so it's business for them. Yeah, I think the biggest thing was Patrick Mahomes being asked to do a Kermit the Frog impression and then the obligatory Taylor Swift questions for Kelsey. I feel like that was kind of it, and nothing's happened since. So it's daunting, I think, if you're a Niners fan of the Niners. I get it. Look, I would want to be having fun the 2 days that I'm allowed to and then business and everyone quiets down. But the Shanahan thing, that just made me laugh when y'all said that.
Yeah, I think you did. I think he had some. I'm good with it.
He's in Vegas.
I think he had some drinks.
Yeah.
You know what? In fairness, all the flights coming into Vegas this week have been turbulent. He might just be a nervous flyer like myself, and it's still in his system. Who knows? Or
maybe both. Maybe he had drinks on the flight to get over the turbulence. Also okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Totally okay.
Yeah. So you brought up Taylor Swift, especially as a female in broadcasting. I'd love to know just your perspective on the way a lot of people are reacting to this whole thing.
Oh my goodness! I'm not necessarily a fan of the music. It's not really my thing. She seems like a lovely human being who puts a lot of money to really good causes in her life. Who can knock any of that? It's crazy to me. Does everyone want to see it? No. But does it affect my life at all? No. It's just for these glimpses and these seconds. And, they don't show anyone else's girlfriends and wives. Yet, no kidding. And no offense to everyone else's girlfriends and wives. They're not global icons who made $1 billion last year. It's kind of a big deal. Sorry.
Yeah, they used to show Giselle.
Thank you.
Right? I'm like, if the person's famous, then they're going to show them.
We live in a celebrity culture. Are we kidding ourselves? Of course they're going to show her. And, there's a part of me that as a girl who, when you date, you have a boyfriend, what have you, I'm not a big on being the center of attention type thing. Sometimes I feel kind of bad for her. I'm like, let's just let her go to a game and enjoy it. Like, just, she knows that that's his moment, and she has thousands of her moments, and it's not her fault they keep showing her. What do they want to do, hide? She's not going to hide. So it's just a very weird phenomenon. Look, and they'll break up one day, and we can all just shut up, and this would have been a piece of our history. Just let it go.
So cynical. They're going to break up? I didn't know that.
We're all going to break up. Nothing's forever, you guys. Come on.
I couldn't agree with you more, Michelle. Wait, are you a halftime show person? Are you excited about the Super Bowl halftime show with Usher?
I am. I mean, I'm getting out of here Friday so I can be home in San Antonio on Saturday and just sort of have like a few people over so you can still hear the commercials. And I love the halftime show. Even when they're kind of boring, it's still such a part of our national conversation. Like, if we don't like it, then we can talk about how much we don't like it the next day. But I think Usher's got enough great songs that I will be entertained. And that's kind of it. He's sort of, we roller skate around the living room and enjoy the halftime show. And try not to drink too much so you remember it. That's my big key.
That's good advice. It's Michelle Beadle with us here on 95.7 The Game. Hey, Michelle, before you go, we know that you do the FanDuel thing with Shams as well. So with the trade deadline being like 22 hours away or something like that, Come on, give us the goods. Are the Warriors making a move or not?
Man, it's crazy because we just taped our show a little bit ago. And by the way, fun fact about him, he is still in Chicago in his home because he refuses to fly during trade deadline week on the off chance that the Wi-Fi is bad. So he doesn't even get out here till like Friday night, which is pointless, but still. And he listed off a list of 14 different names that are all expected to be moved, and nothing's happened with 22 hours. So I'm DeJounte Murray, DeMar DeRozan. Those are big names that we're waiting for. I hope something happens because trade deadline can be exciting, but sometimes the most exciting part is 10 minutes before the deadline hits.
Was Andrew Wiggins one of the names?
I mean, it's on the list, but yet no takers yet.
Yeah. All right, Michelle. That was a whole lot of fun. Thank you but who do you think's winning the game? You said you want the Brock Purdy to. Who's going to win?
I have this bad feeling the Chiefs are going to win, but I'm pulling in my heart for Brock Purdy and company.
We'll take it. You sound like most of our listeners, so we'll take it. Michelle, thanks.
Thanks, guys.